Full lights, start sound, camera, action.
BabuKishan's Spotlight.
Charan Gill, CEO of the Progressive Intercultural Community Services Society in Surrey, British Columbia. I was born in Hong Kong in 1936. That's where my parents lived for the past 25 years. The entire family was born in Hong Kong. But we got uprooted during Second World War when the Japanese were close to invading Hong Kong. My family decided to leave Hong Kong and depart for India. I remember my mother telling me we came by Sangola ship. All our suitcases, everything was shipped to Calcutta, where we landed. Then by train went back to Punjab, where my original village was Mahalkoot, district Barnala. That's where we ended up. That's my original grandparents lived there for some time. My father's name is Santa Singh. My mother's name is Ram Kaur, and the biggest influence was my grandpa, Baba Abdullah Singh from Jalal, who was a comrade, a lefty person who used to bring me some literature when I was a young kid. So I only studied from my village up to grade 8. Then I went to Khalsa School Sadar in Ludhiana district in a boarding home and to study up to grade 10. Then went to college there in the same place, first year and second year. After finishing that college, I went to Mahindra College, Patiala, to do my BA and MA. So I was the first kid. My mom was proud of me that I did MA in my village. She was very proud to make sure that my son go to university and gets a good education. Unfortunately, my father got diarrhea when he left Hong Kong and went to India. I was 2 years old. I have no memories of my dad. But I went to school. After school one day, strange thing happened. I tried to find the old bags, some of my dad's suit, pants and suits, and some papers. I found my birth certificate there that I was born in Hong Kong. It's strange, I didn't know that. So my mother, who was quite worried, somebody told her, if I go unmarried, I'll get married some Chinese girl or some British girl. I will never come back home. So my mother decided to delay my departure, say, son, you get married here. So I couldn't say no to her. I was very loyal to my mom because she devoted all her life to raise me. So that's exactly what happened. I got married, arranged marriage, didn't see my wife. And there was parda tradition at that time when I was getting married. Some of my college friends were looking at my wife's hands. They were telling me, looks like Gauri. She's a white skin, but she's short. So maybe I will have a good luck. But anyways, I got married. I got, according to traditional thing, I got one watch, one bicycle, Then my friends were saying, hey, you guys, you were very poor. You got bicycle, railway bicycle from your in-laws. Let's go back to Patiala. When I was still studying in Patiala at that time, then we can go on a bike rather than walking, going to the bazaar, we'll have great fun. So he made jokes of me in front of my all family and my in-laws, telling me, "Nangita kya gaya?" You become half decent person now because you got a watch, you got a railway bicycle. Railway bicycle was very popular there at that time. Anyway, that was the earlier days. And we had a great fun, and During the time before I departed to Hong Kong, I was blessed with my son, Jack, who's here in Canada now. And my mother was sure, because I got a son now, I will not remarry anybody. I will come back to her village and make sure that I remember my background, I remember my mom and other brothers and sisters. So then I ended up in Hong Kong for 6 years. I learned some Cantonese. It was very difficult to adjust there. I got to do 2 jobs. I was working in Bank of India, then working in South China Morning Post as a proofreader to make living. The rent was so high, unbelievably high. One side of my salary will go to rent, and I used to sleep only 5 hours. When I was working with the South China Morning Post, sometimes I have to sit there up to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Like when the President Kennedy was shot, I was in Hong Kong. I remember we were delayed as the news were coming in, pouring in. So it was 3 o'clock in the morning before I left. Those days used to be linotype machines, not computerized machines. So many Chinese were making too many mistakes. Sometimes they were losing one sentence, jumping to another sentence, the story was missing. So my role was to read the story properly, correct the spellings, and correct the missing gaps. So that was my role. And then, interestingly, obviously when I'm working 14 hours a day, I was very tired. So I used to catch up my sleep on the weekend. I used to sleep on the weekend. And during that time, my sister got married in Canada. She was in Vancouver. She called me, my life is at risk. I should come to Vancouver. Okay, they passed me, gave me a visa. I asked my wife, that time I have 2 kids, to go to India, let me go to Vancouver. When I get settled, I will call you. It took me 2 years before I could call them, because it was very difficult again. Second time I had to go through the same routine, finding a job. Also, one of the interesting things happened, I wore turban until I was in Hong Kong. When I came to Canada, my brother-in-law said to me, well, with turban you wouldn't have good luck to get a job. So you should shave your hair, shave your beard. I was kind of a little bit upset. Then they took me to the barber shop, cut my hair, shaved my beard. To me, I didn't like my face that time. I looked so different. When I was going out, I felt I left something. I felt like I'm walking naked. Then it took some time. I was not too happy with my turban being removed, my beard being removed. I never seen my new face. But anyhow, with about 2-3 weeks, I got used to it. Then I found the value conflicts here. What value conflict happened? The people who used to do things, my sister one day asked me, Charan, can you pick up the garbage put outside? Well, that was a strange thing happened. I got hit very hard. I was very disappointed. My sister treats me like a servant, because the servants are the ones who in India pick up the garbage and put outside. And this is another value, I didn't like it very much. I stopped speaking to my sister and my brother-in-law. For a couple of days they give me whiskey and chicken curry, all that kind of stuff. But they stopped after 3-4 days. Then I was unhappy with them anyways. I said, I want to go somewhere where I can go to get work. There are friends of mine, A.P. Singh, who was working with me in Hong Kong. He was in Williams Lake. So they sent me to Williams Lake to work in a lumber mill. Oh my God, I never worked such a hard job. And everything was, when I got a job, my arms were sore. My buttocks were sore, my legs were really swollen. And one day what happened when I was going home after a couple of days, my feet got swollen because I was standing up. And when I went on Friday evening, they were very happy because they were going to have a drink and chicken curry on Fridays. Then in weekend they would wash clothes and buy groceries. They were jumping up and down. Weekend came in, Saturday, Sunday they don't work. So anyways, they tried to take my shoes off, but it wouldn't go because my foot was swollen. Then I was the only older one and educated one. They called me Master Ji. They said, Master Ji, let's have a drink, then we will try again. So they gave me one drink, and two people got from my shoulders. One guy tried to force the shoe off. It wouldn't go off because there were because of the cold weather, insulation was so much. My foot, though both feet were just glued in almost. Then they say, okay, let's eat. Then they ask me, go to bed with my working shoes. I said, how I can go to bed? He said, no, we can't take it off. We'll see hopefully tomorrow. The blood circulation will get better, then we'll try again. So went to bed with my shoes on, which are very heavy duty shoes, working shoes. So in the morning they got up, and my feet were not too bad that time. My blood circulation, because I was sleeping, was better, and they tried to open my shoes, and luckily, for goodness sake, the shoes were off. And then the same week they were drinking, asked me to have a drink. I didn't know. I wasn't drinking that much at all. And there was ice on the stairs. And then we started horsing around when we were as a friend drinking. I slipped from the stair, came back down rolling, put my hand downstairs on the floor. My scaphoid was broken. And they have to take me to hospital, put a cast on. So I got one check from the ligament industries, and they were very unhappy that I would lose my job. But I was very happy that I got rid of my job because it was so hard, so tough. You know, I was dreaming at night. The lumber 2x4s, 2x6 were coming right on the green chain to me, you know. I was laughing to him. I said, look, buddy, you made that lumber chain faster than before. He said, no, it's the same way it's going all the time. Only thing happened that you got tired a little bit. When I was working as a social worker in Prince Rupert, I realized that I need a social work degree. Not only to understand the problems of the people better, but also if you want to go up the ladder, I need a degree in social work. So I decided then, I requested my department to come down to Vancouver because the only place degree and master's degree were offering at UBC. There was nowhere else. I told them that I want to upgrade myself, so I want to go down to Vancouver. They allowed me to come to Vancouver, but it took 3-4 years before I went to UBC. I have to do some preparatory courses, move some of the barriers any immigrant faces because my degrees were not recognized at that time. I have to do English upgrading courses. So I did all that. Then in 1980s, I got to UBC to do my bachelor. In 1981, I got my master's degree. But meantime, I became very active in the community. Why I became active is a very interesting story. Because as a social worker, I used to get only $575 per month. And my children, when they come here, they want to go to, that time I have 3 children. They want to go to Disneyland.
Full lights, start sound, camera, action. BabuKishan's Spotlight.
You know, I said, I don't have enough money, so I cannot take you to Disneyland, but you have to pick berries in the farms, make some money, that we can all go together to Disneyland. They agreed. They agreed to go to farms. One of our friends had a farm. I used to take them down, and they were picking berries every day for a month. They were black and blue, and they found there was no shade there. They found there's no drinking water, very poor working conditions. So I felt sorry, but I didn't say anything. So I used to pick them up and found many, many thousands of people working in those conditions. And some people were exploited. I felt really bad. Anyways, we went to Disneyland. They were very happy to go to Disneyland. Came back, had some good memories. We drove to Disneyland, LA, from here, Vancouver to there. And what happened, next year, I jokingly asked them, do you want to go to Disneyland? They knew what I meant, that they have to pick berries. They said no. They are not interested. Because berry picking is a very hard work, back-breaking work. And then I was with some people who had the lefty thinking. I used to go to the meetings and stuff. I gave them an idea. I said, look, if you want to do some community development work, we have to do something for the farm workers who are picking berries, who are being transported from Vancouver, Surrey, to Pitt Meadows and Vancouver, Abbotsford area. And they were transported like cattle. There were no seat belts, no seats, nothing. And many accidents happened, many people died on the freeway. Some people died because they were spraying pesticide, not knowing what they're doing. I thought they need some education, we need to organize these farm workers. So 3 people got together, agreed, let's do something. There were Raj Chauhan, Harinder Mahal. Then in the background there was Hari Sharma, Chin Banerjee. Those guys were really left-leaning people. They encouraged us. They will help us in writing briefs, writing press releases. Despite I was working as a social worker, my accent was not that great that time. Very interestingly, we went to CJOR, that time predecessor of CKNW. We felt we did pretty good. When I heard my tape, because I told them to tape it, I couldn't understand what I was saying. And Raj Chauhan was with me, he was worse than me. Unfortunately, then I said, oh my God, we have to, if we want to go in public, we have to learn lessons, how to speak properly, pronounce proper words and all the terminology. So I went to UBC to get my accent better, improve my English language skills, speaking skills, all these kind of things. Because we were getting very active in the labor movement as well as in the anti-racist movement, because at that time quite a few immigrants came in. As an influx of immigrants, the local people didn't like it. They would start throwing eggs, throwing rocks, houses being burned down in 1980s. One of the inflammatory person came in, David Duke of KKK. He went to CJOR stating that all the colored people should go back to their country, all the Aboriginal people should go up north, this is a white man's country. As a result, skinheads came in, Aryan nations came in, start harassing our people, and people were very scared because some houses being burned down. In the 80s then, I was very active. They asked me to be president, and we go to First Nation people. We made this organization known as BC Organization to Fight Racism. Nobody wanted to be president because people were scared, because KKK were known, infamous organization who killed people. They asked me to be president. I didn't want it, but they forced me into it because my name was known as a farm workers advocate. We were in the media, large media, every week those days. Then I accepted the presidentship of the BC Organization to Fight Racism. All my life, I remained president. Nobody wanted that because it was a tough job. Same, we founded the Canadian Farm Worker Union in 1978. I was elected Secretary Treasurer. 30 years later, I'm still Secretary Treasurer. Nobody wanted it because there's no money, hard work. You have to be spokesperson for the poor, underprivileged, very marginalized group. And we fought for their rights. We fought for the minimum wage. We fought that they should be covered under work safe. We fought working hours, poor working conditions, and actually the transportation never got better until the 3 women mothers died on the freeway. Then, with the help of the BC Federation, we raised a big issue, big stink, that farm workers should have seats, farm workers should have the proper seat belts, and that's why many people got killed because there was no seat belts, no proper seats, benches only. So then my work in the community work continued, and I really worked hard, still working the same way. This is the basis of my community involvement, and I liked community development work. I like to work with people, and then thereon we continued working and helping the very needed persons and be spokesperson for the underprivileged and poor farm workers. I always preferred to work for social justice, equality, and fairness. So anytime I see exploitation, anytime I see some people are dealt with unfairly, I'll stand up with them and do advocacy work for them. After 7 to 8 years struggle, we were not able to form a union due to many reasons which I don't want to go into. There are many reasons, especially the people who are so down, so afraid, so scared of the labor contractors, so worried about their jobs to get some money at home. They couldn't get the courage to join a union. So we decided, some people left the organization, got some jobs, and because I was the only one who had a permanent job, the others didn't. Others worked for the union. When we have no money for the union after 6-7 years, they decided to leave the place and go somewhere else. So I was the only one left over. I left out of 4 or 5 people. They all went separate ways. I was only hanging in with the farm workers. In the meantime, I felt the community needs some help. They need help in social services. Some of my friends who were lefty, they didn't like my idea of social work. They say it's first aid. They want to bring a revolution here. I said, this country is not ready for any revolution. So the only thing we can do advocacy work and work for the seniors, families, newcomers, help them to give direction so they can get jobs and settle in Canada. So those kind of issues were there. Issues of racism, exploitation, the credentials not being accepted. There are a whole lot of issues we need to work at. So we departed from my lefty friends. I decided to start PICS because one day we were working together. There were 8 people enjoying curry chicken and whiskey because of somebody celebrating birthday of his son. So I raised an issue. I say, we are celebrating, we're drinking, we're having great fun, but we need to work for the community a little bit. They asked what? I say, well, there's no such society who can work for the community on many issues which we are facing as a community, so we had to do something. They said, what? I said, let's put $10 each and form a society which would work for people. First, we put $80, 8 people, $10 each, and put in place a name, Progressive Indo-Canadian Community Services Society. And we tried to get money because of our name Indo-Canadian. We are not multicultural. We didn't get any money whatsoever. So I went around and asked bureaucrats, what the hell is wrong with us? They said, we will not provide money to one group. If you're multicultural, then we will give you some help, some support. I said, okay. So I changed the name to Progressive Intercultural Community Services. It remained as PICS as before, but changed the intent, changed the total different things to involve, to accepting everybody in multiculturalism. So that's what happened. Luckily, we started getting some money. Money, 100,000 first, 150,000 later. Over the years, we kept money coming in. Then some friends of mine decided that I should leave my job and come here, work full-time with the PICS. I'm getting lots of blessings from seniors, from families, from young people, which I work with them. Actually, many people tell me at the age of 75, I look very young. Actually, I feel young because I feel giving to people, I'm getting lots of things back. Respect and blessings, good wishes. My tears come down to my eyes when I was with the seniors the other day, and one or two seniors got up and say, you made us a great place to live. We are living like in heaven, and we wish our 2-3 years go to your life that you can carry out your another mission and work out everything possible, make community life a great quality, some dignity, and wonderful.
What's wrong with you? Are you still serious with this job? The company cannot afford to lose money. You were the best matchmaker in the city. Damn it!
I am the best. You know I believe it. I'm Cupid reincarnated.